सर्वभौमवाहिनी सर्वशक्तिनी सवितुं देवधारिणी श्यामति परमपुत्रायां देवकुमारवती
कट केन दउछ हैं फैन ये कर फैन स्लो चार जन आसिले so good evening everybody
Good
you hear
evening,
me
sir.
yes let us start with the reproductive maternal newborn child and adolescent health services under NHM National Health Mission. So both during the pregnancy and the antenatal services are to be provided through National Health Mission. So in short, it is called RMNCH, Reproductive Maternal Newborn Child and Adolescent Health Services under National Health Mission. So under this, the maternal health services, who is going to be mother or pregnant ladies. So antenatal care services. When the embryo is in the mother's womb, that is called antenatal health care services at the most of the places auxiliary nurse ANC, they are appointed in the rural area and urban areas to take care of the pregnant ladies, particularly during 3 to 4 months. It is a very crucial time. So there should not be miscarriage during this time, the pregnant ladies, and preventive measures are to be taken by the ANC, by ANM, so that the pregnant lady will not only get counseling but also be provided with the iron tablet and other calcium tablet and immunization, etc. And also she will be very much careful about the different kinds of nutrient foods, so that there will be no adverse effect on the embryo. And skill attendance at birth, during birth, there must be a skill attendance. What you feel that in the hospital, what happens? The nurse or staff nurse or the medical officers. Mostly the staff nurse and nurse are in charge of the during delivery time. And people complain that there is exchange of the infant, the newborn child, in case of father, son or daughter. Some say give that a son has been born. Some say that daughter has been born. There is a lot of confusion, and they go for DNA test, and finally the parents do not want to accept if the daughter is born. And there is a lot of legal complications. So that during the delivery time, a skilled personnel, skilled staff should be there. They should ensure that easy delivery. Then the referral services, suppose in the village, there will be say labor pain or symptoms of delivery. So they need ambulance. The ambulance or the services should be made available to all villages. But in Orissa, you can see or you have experienced that due to the road conditions, the ambulance does not reach to the pregnant lady, as a result of which she is carried by the cart or other means to reach at the hospital, and they walk down the distance for 4 to 5 kilometers like that. Even in the urban area, even you call 108 ambulance, so they come late. So the person concerned make his own arrangement how to reach at the hospital for the easy delivery. And the safe abortion services. While examining or checking the pregnant lady, by the experienced doctors if there is some defects in the embryo. Suppose the embryo has some kind of problems, that respiratory problem, heart problems, and other problems are there. So instead of delivering a defective child which will be burden forever, they go for abortion. So the doctor advised that there should be safe abortion. Otherwise, the baby will not survive because of certain problems. So the abnormal babies, for the abnormal, the embryo particularly, they are not supposed to safe abortion. And also village health and nutrition day is to be organized by the Anganwadi workers. He should advise others. Other initiative like Janani Suraksha Yojana. Under Janani Suraksha Yojana, National Health Mission, also in the state of Odisha, that is Janani Suraksha Yojana, and directly the payment is made online to their account. So that what happens, they can get at least the nutritious food at least. And in the process, what happens that out of that, the money, exactly what is the amount, I do not know. The nurse and others also demand the some amount of money out of that. So this is a very ill practice in the society, the percentage. So the Janani Suraksha Yojana, Janani Suraksha Karyakrama, it was launched in the year 2011 for free entitlement of public health insurance to pregnant women, new mothers, and also sick infants up to 1 year of age. There is so many programs are there. Even for the acute diseases, the state government gives 10 lakhs under BSKY. But some people do not get, are not benefited under the BSKY, Biju Swasthya Kalyan Yojana. There is a national health mission up to 5 lakhs. There is a free treatment in the hospitals inside the state or outside the state. This government does not accept the national health mission up to 5 lakhs because of vote bank politics. Then OAB enabled mother and child. That means through the various devices, electronic devices like your mobile and other devices, we must be or the ANM in the villages or the nurse in the PHC or other health institutions, organizations. They get informed about the pregnant lady, whether she is in a critical condition or in the normal conditions. Then there is a joint mother-child protection MCP, both the mother and the child. Good. Then the child health and immunization services. Everywhere it is available. I have told you that in at Anganwadi centers there is immunization programs, and also the hospitals there is immunization programs for different immunization at different age, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, etc. And there is a health card is being issued, and how many doses of the different type of immunization are given are mentioned in the health card. So it is freely available, and one can say avail this opportunity of this service. The National Health Promotion for the newborn care. All these programs are meant to reduce the infant mortality or newborn mortality, and also the pregnant lady mortality. Previously, what happened that due to the lack of all facilities, there was a more mortality. That's why what was the practice that the parents they beget number of children, and out of them some survive, and some of them uh, they could not survive. So this is the what you can say. Nowadays, everybody is conscious about the health, and in the urban areas, almost the parents go for one child, either son or daughter, maximum two, son or daughter. There is no difference between son and daughter. Of course, some have the attitude that if one may not survive, that's why they go for the second child. But the care is taken for both the children, both in the urban area and the rural areas. Because nowadays the education becomes expensive. You have realized, in order to provide good education in a good school, particularly English medium schools, you have to spend, at least in the urban area, Bhubaneswar, like this place, more than 1 lakhs per year. So you see, the government provides free education. The government provides free education. In the government schools, there is a lack of learning environment. In your villages, you could have realized. In the urban areas also, there are government schools. But the learning environment is not favorable for the children. So the parents do not want to send their children to the government high school where free education is given. Not only free education is given, but also the learning materials like books, dress, and other things are given. Despite of the all incentives and facilities, the parents have the negative attitude towards the government schools. Anyway, so home-based newborn care, the Asha Karmis are there. They also make visit frequently to the house about the different, about the well-being or health of the uh, newborn child. Then the nutrition is the most important thing. That means the vitamin A, iron, and folic acid that are also provided in the Anganwadi centers and the primary health centers everywhere. But sometimes if you go for this and they say that out of stock. And people have the idea if you take the medicine, free medicine from the government hospitals, that the diseases will not be cured of. That is also the attitude of the parents. Anyway, either you purchase from the open market, or you avail the free medicine, the iron or the folic acid and the calcium tablets and etc. from the government hospital. Then how to manage the severe acute malnutrition? There are rehabilitation centers are there. Of course, I have not seen in Bhubaneswar there is rehabilitation centers for malnutrition. So simply in the hospital, they are admitted and severe malnutrition children are treated there. Treatment is given and they are cured of. So management of a common childhood illness. Child suffers from many diseases. And it is very difficult to rear a child because at the initial stage the child that he has not that much of immunity power. So he is affected by viral disease, fever. He is affected by with the other fevers and also acute respiratory functions. There will be choke in the nose and there is accumulation of the coughs in the respiratory system. So we have to take medicine accordingly, and the immunization, there is a routine work. The polio eradication program still is going on. The eliminating measles, Japanese encephalitis related death. These are the fatal diseases. So immunization are being done for these diseases. The universal immunization program is a routine immunization program at the Anganwadi centers and also PHC or CHC. So one has that much of medical minded attitude to go to the hospital. But in the rural area, what happens? The people are not very much conscious about the health and medical treatment, as a result of which they use the quacks or the various leaves and the Ayurvedic medicines they take. If it becomes a chronic, there is no problem taking the various Ayurvedic medicine, but it is a delayed process. Taking Ayurvedic medicine or homeopathic medicine is a delayed process. So that's why the child is to be given allopathic medicines, in my opinion. The doctors also advise injections and how to clear the respiratory tract, so on and so forth. And that kind of operation is going on in our state through ICDS, ASAKarmi. So TT, DPT, BCG, all these vaccinations are given in the Anganwadi centers. Rashtriya Balya Swasthya Karyakrama. There is children under the age of 18 go through the health screening so as to detect any diseases. Navajata Sishu Suraksha Karyakrama. Also, there is a program. Then family planning services. There is we use contraceptive methods not to give birth children consecutively every year. Some parents are there in the villages, they beget the infants every year. So that should not be. At least a 3 to 5 years gap. At least 2 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years gap between the first and second child should be there. So that there is no problem. So spacing method, the limiting method, you must make up your mind how many children will you have, one or two or more than two. It is easy to deliver the children, those who are capable of delivering the child. But it is difficult to rear the child. Rearing a child is a very, very difficult job on the part of the women. So, all these things are to be the taken care of. National Disease Control Program under NHM. Revised National TB Control Program. So these are many things are there. So we have to think of. Then assessment of nutritional status of children. How to assess? Assessment in Odia is called Manadanda. What is the status of the child? We assess the child when he is in the school, reading in any class. But that kind of assessment also is applicable for the newborn child. And how to assessment? There are various methods. One is what are the aspects of assessment? Nutrition status and the diseases, whether she is affected or she is affected by diseases, and also growth monitoring, actual height, actual weight, etc. All these things are to be assessed from time to time. The methods of assessment, assessing nutrition program, one is anthropometric measurement, clinical method, biochemical analysis, DAD survey. In anthropometric measurement, what happens? We can do it from the weight, height, arm circumferences, body mass index. We can go through the chart. What should be the height according to the age? What should be weight according to the age? With the help of the measuring tape, we can measure the height, and also there is a weighing machine. We can measure the weight. Whether there is excess of weight is not good. Whether less weight, that means he is suffering from malnutrition. So, anthropometric measurements, we can do it. From the body appearances, the height of the body, weight of the body, and so on and so forth. Weight according to the age, there is a chart. It is available. Weight for age is called low weight. There is a figure at page 102. How the Anganwadi workers are weighing the child. You see the weight. Let's see. According to the age, if it is low weight, then he is called underweight. For underweight, we have to go for the, what is the problem? We have to test the blood. We have to go to the physician. Why there is a underweight? And in order to overcome this underweight, we have to take the good nutrition or any kind of diseases he has, digestive system, digestive problems. So we may also take the enzymes according to the advice of the doctors. And also height for the age. Some are dwarf, some are children are having more height. More height is not bad. But if one becomes dwarf, not according to the age, according to the age, he or she has less height. Definitely, we have to go to the physician. What can be done? And the height also at times is determined by gene. If the parents are dwarf, naturally the child will be dwarf, low height, definitely. Because the genes are carried out and determines the height of the child. Lot 4 is the indicative of stunting and chronic malnutrition. If there is a low weight, height, there is a chronic malnutrition. Chronic, which has been, the baby suffers from the particular diet for prolonged period. He is not taking the diet for prolonged period because of poverty. And also some babies are there, they are not very much interested to take the nutritious food. You are very much aware of that. In spite of the unwillingness of the baby to take the food, nutritious food or normal food, the baby should be fed with the normal food by any means. If there is a disease also in the throat, also the baby does not want to take food out of fear. At times the baby vomit. When he takes the food out of fear, he does not take food, nutritious food. So many factors are responsible for taking the food. So the arm circumference, जो गोले जो मपा जाए सब अंगनवाड़ी सेंटर रे हुए सब. This is how the severely malnourished child, and that is called red. That at page 105 you will find red ribbon. and also there is a blue ribbon. The child is not malnourished. Then another method is clinical method. This is called anatomical method. Anybody can do it. In the clinical method, you have to go to the physician and he will diagnose, he will observe or ask questions to the parents. What is the problem of the baby? Baby cannot say the problems. And out of the problems, if the baby is suffering, first when you go to the physician, they will ask you for the weight. There is a weighing machine, and it's just you lie your baby on the weighing machine, and a slip is given by the person in charge, the weight. Then also height, that in the height also is given. So all the physical measurement is done by the attendant, and then the doctor asks what kind of problems that the child has. So according to the problems, the doctor advises what kind of medicine that you will take, what kind of diets that the baby should take, both the mother and infant. So all these vitamin A deficiency, iron deficiency, iodine deficiency, vitamin C deficiency, all these symptoms are there, signs of symptoms are there on the right side at page number 108. You'll go through it. Then biochemical assessment, that is, you have to go to the clinical test, the blood and different kinds of tests are there. Iodine deficiency, potassium deficiency, sodium deficiency, and so number of deficiency can be detected. Now there is a very serious disease now, the what is called dengue. It is a very serious disease. It is one primarily treatment is not given, but when it is given, that becomes serious. The dengue was that affects the heart, kidney, and liver. So when they attack three internal organs of the individual at a time, so there is every possibility of death. One DG expert yesterday who was affected by dengue. So it's a serious disease. So when the chronic fever is there, we have to go for the test. All types of malaria, viral, total CBC, blood count, hemoglobin, dengue test. So out of that, it can be, if it is negative or light, there is any positive, accordingly, we have to go to the physician for the medicines. At times, the medicine becomes slow recovery. The doctors gives you injection. Then the diet survey assessment. What kind of diet that the both the pregnant lady and the newborn child take. So whether he is taking nutritious food or not in a liquid form, because I have told you that the child is not very much interested to take the food. It is very difficult to feed the child. So by any means you have to feed the child in a nutritious food. Make a powder form. All the nutritious materials available, beet, gajar, and other things. Other things must be available. So the early childhood care and education. There is a early childhood care and education in every urban areas. So that must be done. So these are the four methods of assessment of the health of the baby. Growth monitoring. So you have to monitor the growth, both weight, height, and whether free from diseases or not. So a health card is given where the growth and development has been written. Just you see at page number 113, one diagram is there, birth to 3 years, the growth standard. Also at page 114, that is also. Determining the correct age, accurate weight of the child. There is a continuous and a manner you have to do that. And also at page number 117, body weight for age, birth to 3 years. So everything is there. Analysis and the follow-up action. After analysis, in every month you have to go for the monitoring, checking about the height, weight, and other things through different mechanism. And accordingly, you have to take precautionary measures. So there are so many charts in the book. You should go through it. Then common childhood illness, their prevention and management. Caring for the sick child, some disorder and the alimentary system, some disorder and respiratory system. You see, the various, I have told you that the various health centers are available and you have to go through it and treat the child accordingly. So caring for the sick child, the mother can detect whether the child is sick or he is healthy, whether he is crying for food or crying for due to sickness. When he is suffering from fever, he does not feel well. That is uneasy. So for that reason, we have to recognize this sick child. At times what happens that the child, the symptoms of illness, mild, severe in the child. So every mother should have a thermometer. Now that is a digital thermometer. You can measure the temperature. The normal temperature is 98.4 Fahrenheit. So if it exceeds 100 or more than 100, then it is difficult. So you have to apply paracetamol and other things. But the temperature is not reduced. So finally you have to go to the physician. What should be done? So he will prescribe the medicines, and you should not take the medicines according to the your own decision. You know, you have to make the health card, and you know how to refer the child to the hospital. Then a holistic approach of the child health. The holistic approach is the connection between nutrition, happiness, and good health. Food is the most important thing. And how to recognize the child when he is sick? When the child becomes inactive and does not play. When the child is tired all the time. When the child cries continuously. When the child refuses feeds and vomiting. When there is a fever with cold and cough. When there is a pain anywhere. When there is a skin rash without fever. When there is any swelling anywhere. When the child has the diarrhea. Every child has the diarrhea, you must have observed. Irritability, deficiency in breathing, fever with rapid breathing, drowsy and cannot be roused, has fits with without fever, dry lips, and so on. All these symptoms are there. Caring for the child, general rules, never have the child alone in a room. Tell the mother or older sibling, don't leave the child to live alone. See that room is well ventilated, and that should be not be any drought, but the same time there should be fresh air. The child clothes and bed's clothes should be light and clean, perfect, preferably cotton, warm clothes if necessary. Give plenty of liquids. That's why there will be dehydration. There is every possibility of a dehydration. That's why precautions should be made to give sufficient water. So, in order to know the exact cause of the diseases, the mother should experience what is the problem, what is the complaint of the child, and when the temperature falls and when the temperature rises. The doctor asks all the things. And how the child is feeling, so on, all the things. That is the medical science. The making healthy health card already. Indicators of illness of the child. Having asked the mother about the child's present and past illness. Examine the child. What the examining will help us decide what parents must do next. Some children are suffering from fits at the early stage. At the later stage, the doctor advised that will be removed, or there will be no fits with the child, or no more. So, then referring the child to the hospital, you cannot take your own decision. So, according to the decision of the doctor, you have to take the child, and the follow-up action must be taken. Even there is a recovery or he recovers from ill health. That does not mean that immediately you can do many things as a normal child, in case of a normal child. So that follow-up action for days together, some days, that should be done. And emotional needs of the sick child, always the sick child, always very much attached to the mother, and he or she does not leave the mother for a short period or for a longer period. That's why there must be emotional feeling, the emotional attachment, so that the child will feel better. There is some chronic diseases, and for chronic diseases, the child is child, mother is mother. So there is a bond between the mother and the child. There must be emotional bond. The mother does not know how long the child will survive. Still, he takes care of the child. Some are mentally retarded children. Say, the mentally retarded children, they cannot do their own jobs. Those IQ less than 25. They are purely custodian. I have seen such children in my life. I had been to one friend's house and they will find, I observed that the child and the bond between the child and the mother. What to do? Nothing can be done. Only the feeling, the emotional attachment. And some children are inattentive, very much inattentive. And some children are, say, handicapped children. Now, the handicapped children are not the burden for for themselves and for the family. They have their own life. They are educated. There are schools for blinds, for hearing impaired children, and for orthopedically handicapped. But for neurological problems, there is no remedy. That's why only the affection, love, sympathy, we have to extend. The mother has to extend all these things to the child. Then some disorder of the alimentary system. When you take the food is from the mouth through the esophagus, it goes to the stomach, then the small intestine, then the large intestine, then indigested food is removed daily. This is the process. If there is some kind of a disorder in the alimentary canal, disorder in the stomach, disorder in the esophagus, there is a system. So the gastrointestinal disorder, disturbances of the alimentary system, the gastric Some you can say gastric. There is vomiting. Gastric means what? The stomach secretes digestive juice. That is hydrochloric acid. In the absence of food, if there is much hydrochloric acid, then there will be stomach irritation and you will suffer from the pain. The respiratory infection, what happens in the respiratory infection? In the respiratory also, there is a deposit of coughs and there is a choke in the nose. So you have to clear the choke. Nasal drop. Through nasal drop, we have to clear the choke. So, and also skin infection. There is a skin infection. You see the picture at 160. That how the alimentary canal extends from mouth to the large intestine, rectum, where the waste products are comes out. So for that, the when there is a pain itching sensation or some kind of pain, so definitely we have to go to the doctor for the clinical diagnosis, pathological diagnosis, X-ray and ultrasound, etc., where the pain is there. At times, what happens? The child swallows some very small things, the button or something like that, which is not digested, which cannot be digested, and if it is remain inside the stomach, there will be pain. So till the diagnosis is done, you have to give the child liquid food so that there will be recovery of the pain, and you will go to the doctor for ultrasound and what is the problem. So it is found. If some elementary problems are there, that is also found. The common condition, the constipations with all the individuals, with the adults and the child and everybody. So for the constipation, the child should take enough what you call the water. And if you take the fiber food, cucumber and other fiber foods also, there will be no constipation. So when there will be constipation, there will be some kind of uneasiness. We also experience, you also experience. Diarrhea. That every child suffers from diarrhea. During diarrhea, there will be dehydration. Immediately, we have to shift the child to the doctor, medical, or apply the, what is called it, the saline, so that there will be no dehydration. So if there will be dehydration, the child will die. And the moment the saline is applied, so the child becomes feel better, then while feeding the child with the bottles or anything else, that must be clean. The nipples must be changed from time to time and must be cleaned. ତାକୁ ବିଶୋଧନ କରିବା ଦରକାର. Otherwise, there is every possibility of diarrhea. So you see the pictures, all these pictures are the meat for the how the diarrhea children, the OR and the ORS also we give it. And but the breastfeeding will continue. Don't wait for the doctor to begin with dehydration during the diarrhea. Start immediately. This may have the save the child's life. Both water and the liquid food should be given immediately, so there will be no dehydration. And there is another disease, typhoid. It is a very serious disease. Continuously the temperature will rise and constant temperature, high temperature. So immediately go for the thyroid test, typhoid test. And accordingly, we have to take an injection. And also there is a dysentery. So during the dysentery, we have to take the medicines so that can be cured up. And also the child is suffering from the worm infection. So for the worm infection, we have to take care of the child, and also the no worm tablets are available. The liquid form also available. That is to be treated. Both threadworm, roundworm, all these worms are also. The picture you see at page 181, how the tapeworm are in our body, like this in the large intestine and small intestine. And they makes the baby weak, and also the baby feels uneasy. Amoebic infection. Amoeba, the microscopic single cell organism that infect a body when the eggs are swallowed in water. Waterborne diseases. The signs symptoms, the child infected amoeba may feel abdominal pain as well as often diarrhea and dysentery. There is. So for all the reasons, we have to go to doctor immediately and examine the stool and other things. So there is some disorder of the respiratory system and other things that will be completed in another 2 or 3 periods. Let us stop here today. I have certain work. So thank you very much for the patient hearing. So now I close the session.